Today is Tuesday, July 1st, and this is another update on my progress of beating the S&P 500 along with Bill Ackman's Pershing Square holdings. I do make these videos every Tuesday and Sunday, so if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. We'll take a look at the chart next, but since my last update, I did decide to trim my Dave position by 15%. This is what the chart for Dave's going to look like, and as you can see, it's been on an absolute tear since the beginning of April. From those lows on April 4th, it's currently at a gain of 272.86%. My current gain in the position is around 191%, so luckily I've been able to hold it for the majority of this run. We'll go ahead and zoom in and you'll see that I've added the closest support and the closest resistance levels. And this blue arrow indicates where I trimmed that 15% out of my portfolio right when it crossed above this level. And the reason I decided to trim right there was because it was trading at its old all-time high, which it had just made a few weeks ago. And I wasn't really sure if it was going to be able to continue moving higher, which it definitely has been able to. But that's the good thing about trimming only some of the position. I'm still fairly heavily invested in it. If we take a look at the price relation of the 5 and the 15-day moving average, you'll see it's exactly where we want it. The share price is above the 5-day, which is also above the 15. And until that changes, I do intend to continue holding on to this position. So now if we take a look at the VIX chart, you'll see over the last week or so, it has been able to come down from the top of its normal trading range. And where it's trading right now is pretty much right in the middle, which at least for right now shows that the overall markets are pretty calm. Definitely the complete opposite of when we were trading up in this area. And you can pretty much draw a straight line connecting the 3 most recent VIX bottoms. One of the things that I am going to be watching is the last 2 times that the VIX reached the current level of where it's at, it did see sudden spikes to the top of its normal trading range. So I definitely wouldn't rule out the possibility of that happening again. But just like the past 2 times and most times in general, it should revert back to about the middle. So if it does reach this level, I'm definitely not going to go ahead and panic sell. And if anything, I'm going to use some of the cash that I have on hand to increase some of my position sizes. And if we take a look at the SPY chart, you'll see that it has been able to get above the old resistance level. But now since that it's above it, that's technically going to be called the support level. And since the SPY price is only 0.11% removed from its all-time high, which it just saw yesterday, technically we're not going to have a resistance level yet, and wherever it tops out will be that level, which it very well could be yesterday's level, but we're not going to know that for a few more trading sessions. But everything definitely still looks pretty good. Right now the SPY price is above the 5-day, and both of those are pretty far above where the 15-day's at. But since we are in all-time high territory, I totally wouldn't be surprised if we tested this support level before bouncing higher, which would indicate roughly a 1.53% decline. And if that does happen, chances are that's going to coincide with the VIX reaching the top of its normal trading range, which we talked about on the previous slide. So if the SPY price does reach the support level, I'm definitely going to be looking to increase some of my positions. These are going to be all 14 of my current positions. Right now, Microsoft, Nvidia, Meta, Dave, and Palantir make up my top 5, and those make up 32.27% of my portfolio. Even with the trimming of the 15% out of the Dave position, it still sits in the number 4 spot in my portfolio. And like I mentioned earlier, right now it's at 191.48% gain. My next 2 biggest positions are going to be Spotify with a 43.89% gain, and then Palantir with a 40.37% gain. Those 2 positions have gone down since my last update, but I certainly think that they still got a lot of room to run. So when it comes time to increase my position sizes, I'm definitely going to increase both of those. Another position very likely to see a pretty significant increase is PayPal, which right now is at an 8.79% loss. I do really like the company, and while I've been holding it, it's pretty much been at a loss of anywhere between 15 and 20%. And now that it's only at a loss of 8.79, I could definitely see myself increasing that position. Right now I have 70.68% of my portfolio invested, which means I have 29.32% sitting in cash. Since my last update, my portfolio saw a gain of 0.04%, Pershing Square had a gain of 1.46, and the S&P 500 had a gain of 1.73, which brings us year to date. My portfolio sits at a gain of 20.41, Pershing Square is at a gain of 10.03, and the S&P 500 has a gain of 5.61. That's going to do it for today. I do make these updates every Tuesday and Sunday, so if you want to follow along, hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you on Sunday.